Hello, I'm Michael Reed, Vedic astrologer with over 20 years of experience in the astrological field. If you're interested in scheduling a consultation with me, you can do so through my astrological services page, which you will find linked above. In addition to that, if you're interested in any of my webinar courses, I presently have one ongoing webinar course and another one that starts in August. Again, you can find out further information about those courses at this different link above. So you're finding yourself in a position where you're struggling, right? And let's face it, you've been struggling for a really long time. And you're becoming, well, for lack of a better way to put it, battle tired, and you're like ready for a solution to just kind of plop from the heavens into your lap. But really all that seems to be plopping into your lap are more like bombardment and dealing with all this stuff that you don't really want to deal with, right? And so then with all this stuff confronting you, you're kind of, as I said, getting exhausted, retreating to gather your strength, and then wishing that you could stay in that position of retreat for a little bit longer rather than having to go back out and engage once again. But then when you've got to go back out and engage because you really just can't ignore it, you're beginning to feel like you're not really making any progress, and you're just going around in this repetitive cycle of go at it, retreat, with no ground ever being covered, and you just feel like you're stuck in a stalemate. And let's face it, it just feels like things aren't going anywhere, right? You're open to an answer, but an answer just doesn't really seem to be appearing. Meanwhile, you kind of feel like you're walking the razor's edge and you're this close to kind of falling off one side or the other. What can you do except continue to be strong and continue to be patient? And I can hear what you're saying. You're going, well, how long do I have to wait? Well, you got to wait a little bit longer. And I can hear you going, well, how strong do I have to be? I feel like I'm already being strong. Well, you have to continue to be strong and even be stronger. You're being confronted with something that on one level, it doesn't really feel fair, but there's something for you to gain from it anyway. And you would not be placed on this path if you did not have the strength within you in order to deal with it. So what do you do aside from having patience and aside from having strength in order to deal with this particular situation? Here is the key. Sometimes we feel that surrendering is being weak. Right? So you're considering surrendering. You've considered it a few times, but every time you consider doing it, you go, but I can't let go of this and I can't let go of that. And you may be right. There may be some things you absolutely, positively can't relinquish your stance on. There may be many things that you feel that you have to stand your ground on. And the other side of you goes, if I'm surrendering, then I'm being weak, then I'm being a wimp, then I'm not standing my ground. But there are some areas where it's actually strong to surrender, because it's a recognition that you're fighting a battle that really is not going to have an outcome. The problem is right now you're having to engage on several different fronts simultaneously, and you're confusing this front with that front, with that front, with this front, with that front, with this front, with this, with that, with the other thing, and it's just kind of got you feeling like, of course you can't make any decisions because you're not even sure what it on earth or what the hell you're dealing with, right? So how are you going to make a decision? Here's what you need to do. With each moment that you find yourself in a position where you're needing to retreat and where you're needing to regather your energy in order to look at a situation, right? Recognize there's no dishonor in surrender. And then look at where you need to surrender. The first step, though, is that recognition that there's no dishonor in surrender, because once you take that step in recognizing that, your pride moves out of the way. Once your pride moves out of the way and you recognize that some things are important to relinquish, and some things, in some areas it's important to not hold on to things just out of a sense of pride or proving a point. Once you recognize where those areas are and you let go of that, the way forward will become clearer for you. You just need to sort through all this confusion that you're dealing with, but you can't sort through that confusion when you feel that you have to assert yourself in order to deal with the situation, when you feel like you're needing a little bit of extra help in order to cope with the circumstance, but really that other assistance isn't really there. Well, guess what? On one level, you have to champion your own cause. You have to fight your own battle, but you have to choose your battles wisely. When you're one person engaging in a battle on several different fronts, you have to pick one front where you feel like you're actually going to make a difference, and be willing to let your pride let go of all those other areas that you're seemingly attached to. It may be difficult initially to relinquish the reins, to let go of your grip, but ultimately it's something that you need to do in a few key areas of life so you can focus your attention on the path ahead. If you could use a little bit of extra support, I am willing to stand in your corner with that. Or if you could just use a general look at the approaching astrological climate and what lies ahead for you and how best to navigate those particular experiences. I do offer several different levels of astrological service, all of which are available through the astrological services page of my website. You'll find that linked above. That's going to do it for this look at Mars's transit through Ardra Nakshatra between now and the 30th of May 2019. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.